Yeah, Aarti, this is a question from one of our global at school parent. I would like to ask you. She was saying that her child is very sensitive, cries easily, and absolutely, it's all about being very sensitive. How can you explain as a child psychologist?
The word sensitive is wrongly used, ma'am, because as human beings, every honest emotion is a positive emotion. You know, this culture of toxic positivity where you have to be happy all the time, exuberance in everything that is there is a very toxic space, because you're telling the body, the immune system specifically, that even if things are falling apart, I'm going to remain positive inside, which is very wrong, because it sends conflicting messages. Every emotion that we feel has a very beautiful function. I feel fear and anxiety, for example, when something is dangerous or perceived to be dangerous. So if I don't have that ability to discern, then I can't live a healthy life, right? I feel angry when I need to change. So every emotion evolutionarily has a function that shouldn't be suppressed or just changed by affirmations, things like that, which have become new age mantras in that sense. When we use the word sensitive, basically what the parent is trying to say is that when there is an overload of some kind, so she's probably had a fight with a friend, or these people have, as parents, been critical to her or something like that, she doesn't know what to do with the emotions that she's feeling. Let's assume she's feeling very guilty or regret or something like that. The role of the parent in this entire situation is to be able to co-regulate. Where we fail as parents is that we try to suppress, we model suppression. We're like, no, don't get angry, boys don't cry, girls from good families don't get angry, those kind of words, right? So we somehow demonize certain emotions, and then when the child doesn't know what to do, I'm feeling angry, but I've been told you shouldn't feel angry. I don't know what to do with this, I'm going to suppress. And when I suppress, over a period of time, it becomes repression. I no longer am able to pick up the cue of that emotion. Many women, for example, will tell you, I don't know why, ma'am, when I feel angry, I start crying. Because they've been repressing that anger for such a long time. It comes out either as a physical illness, sometimes like a migraine and things like that, or it comes out as sadness, which was the emotion that was allowed for the girl. So these are all very negative ways of coping. The other way in which people are taught to cope with emotion, and that's through parental modeling. I'm angry with my boss, I'll come and show it at my family. That's called emotional displacement, right? I'm angry with somebody, I slam the door really hard, that kind of thing. So all these are very maladaptive or wrong ways of coping with emotion. The ideal way to understand emotions are usually in the system, in the body, for about a minute and 20 seconds or 23 seconds. They naturally move away after that. They naturally will go down. But the second aspect, and you'll notice that the first aspect of the emotion that we become aware of is the physical change. Body tightens, or you start sweating, feel very cold, you have butterflies in the stomach, depends on the emotion. The physiological process helps us then to build a narrative, because the narrative is the thinking part, saying, okay, you're feeling this, these are possible ways in which you can deal with it. Okay. Very often this narrative is misleading. So for example, I'm angry with you. Naturally it would have gone down 1 minute and 23 seconds, but my brain says, but she did the same thing the other day as well. So another minute and 23. So this is built, the narrative is built, and every time I see you, I get triggered off with anger. All these states, we need to sit down and work with our children. And when I say co-regulation, what is the role of the adult? Even if you are agitated, angry, anxious, whatever you're feeling, I remain calm, stable, not reactive. I am the safe space within which you will be able to bring your state to a calm, so that you can think through what steps can be taken. So for this, it's essential for parents to understand that they have to be the model for any emotional change. You can't advise them saying, I'll get angry, but you shouldn't. I have business tension, stress, so I can feel angry, but your work stress, your homework stress is not important. You can't do that, you can't. So basically, the first thing that we would work with in emotional regulation, parent needs to examine where he or she can change to be able to model emotional change. And that is regulatory in nature. The second is, when the child is experiencing an emotion, that's not the time to escalate your voice or the kind of reactionary responses that you do, or advice and bring stories and spiritual, bits of gyan. That's the time that you stay silent. Because when I'm already agitated or upset with an emotion, your words are going to make it more complex. And especially in the adolescent years, when the child's brain is already wired to higher emotional experiences, it's very dangerous for the parent to escalate that, because then the rift between them becomes higher. So in terms of emotional sensitivity, as the parent has mentioned, what is missing here is emotional regulation. And emotional regulations always starts with parental modeling and the ability to remain calm, to be able to co-regulate. This would be by and large the best way to work with emotions.
So basically parents also need to learn to model their own emotions.
Only the parents need to start and then the child will fall in line.
Fine. Thank you, Aarti. Thank you.